Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also get me on my Bitchute channel, True Divine 44. Facebook, again, True Divine 44, and The True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, comments, greatly appreciated, and tweets. Thank you so much to everybody who does that thus far. Excuse the puffy eyes. I've had very little sleep. I had some early hours readings, and I don't know if anybody else is finding this right now, but 1 minute I'm feeling exhausted energetically, and the next minute I'm feeling wide awake. So I was supposed to go to bed early so I could get up early to work after sleeping, but actually that didn't work out. I ended up having an hour waking up wide awake and not being able to get back. So leave a comment if you're experiencing that too. Got a feeling quite a few of us are. So this is where I deliver you the tarot and energy readings for the day. Take them with your own discernment. Leave what does not resonate, and take what resonates, please. And leave a comment if you feel comfortable doing so, to let us all know how you're finding it, how you're finding the energies and the tarot story right now. And it helps people make sense of their own story, having this dialogue between many others. And just seeing other people's comments can make you feel more normal if you're going through it, or if you're feeling elated during these times. You know, even that can feel odd right now. So please leave a comment if you feel secure and safe and happy to do so. So this is for the 3rd of December 2020. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the Empress card, the number 3, Major Arcana. Again, this is, it's kept coming up for us, and it is through the thoughts and words and deeds we create our own reality. Now, this Empress is an assimilation between the first two cards, the Fool, you know, the experiencer, the journey, and also in this physical reality, being the experiencer and journeyman, journeywoman in this reality, and also the magician. The magician and the high priestess too. So it's the number 1 and 2 really that we're looking at here. So it's the magician card, where you've got all of those tools on the table to create what and when and as and when you need it. Goodness me, I'm tired. Make of this message what you will. And so you have all of the tools on the table to create your own reality and to manifest that into your reality, and also to have the connection of the as above and so below in the magician, and also with the high priestess of having that security in the knowledge of the hidden, that is hidden to so many others, the occult, the hidden aspects of you, the hidden aspects of spirituality, of what this reality makeup is. And so here you have this warrior chick, you know, queen of this reality, as in she just knows how to create her own abundance, and she knows that through speaking positively within herself, thinking positively and projecting that out. So it's all coming from within, remember, and finally then taking the action on the outside, the deeds, to create the abundance that she is so accustomed to and does not doubt. And so we've got here if you look at a staff here that she's got in her hand, a token, she's got what looks like the bull horns, but it is of that of a moon. And so she's got this connection to her divine feminine, and she knows beauty in this way. So yes, she adorns herself in a physical reality, and I think this is a reminder to not ignore your physical being, to not forget to adorn yourself with all of the things of beauty, but to channel that through your divine feminine. You can also do this if you are masculine in this realm, in that you can adorn your divine feminine within by taking note and understanding the divine feminines around you, and to make note of the beauty within them, to make note of the beauty within you, is to do this. Because, the divine feminine energy being the space and time for everything to sit upon. If you're taking time out in your life, even as a masculine, to adorn, and by adorn, this can just be with thoughts and words that are positive about the divine feminine, you're actually doing something huge esoterically to flip the script as to where this script got flipped in the first place so long ago, as the divine feminine was decimated and denigrated, just put underfoot. And so you taking the masculine role in this also to recognize the beauty of the divine feminine is super, super powerful. And the divine feminines out there that aren't quite so used to this, learn how to absorb this, learn how to be thankful for this, and be thankful that you are a divine feminine source to be able to receive this. This is not ego. This is not praising another, or being egotistical to expect and receive this. It's this mutual respect that we are trying to, and succeeding in doing so, rebalancing between the divine feminine and divine masculine, both within us and the masculine and feminine in this physical realm. Because when we can uplift each other, then automatically, no matter what gender you are, you're uplifting each other, because we all have this balance within of divine feminine and divine masculine. So no matter what your outwardly manifestation is of gender, you are automatically exalting yourself. You're recognizing the divine in them, and therefore recognizing the divine in you. And so there's a huge message there for people who can make sense of my rambling, tired voice. But it is a powerful spiritual message and lesson to really understand and take forward, and grow with and grow upon, build firm foundations again of the true balance and the true way that this realm used to work in a much more symbiotic way. And so we've got the Page of Wands here as the first card. And so this is to ask you to be in connection with the all around you. Take note of the elements around you. Be not quite so fixed on the outcome of the journey, but more enveloped in the experience of the ways and lessons and experiences the journey has to hold for you. In order to not be fixed, you ought to be mutable like the wand, in that you, like the flame, you dance in the wind and you go with the flow. And so taking these elements, you're not being surprised in a nasty way, more often than not, with this outlook of this jovial energy. You're being more surprised in a good way, because it's like, oh, I didn't know that was round this corner. Good job, I followed that wind, or good job, I followed that flame, or that ember, however you want to say it. But to not be so fixed on how you get there, to not even be so fixed on the journey ending, just to fully envelop yourself and experience all of the twists and turns that are involved in making your way. And so with that being said, there's a promise to this. Where routines have been overturned, and it's been a bit of a baptism of fire from having to have such routine lives, such busy lives, so many commitments, we find that learning how to go with the flow like this, learning how to be in flow like this, and be in communion with the elements around us, there is a promise with this Ace of Pentacles here, that at the end of this journey, surely there'll be abundance, because you've already created abundance through experience and finding bliss in whatever that journey holds for you along the way. And so with that being said, this creates this positive outlook that is a huge manifestation tool that harks back to the Empress card there, you know, by your positive thoughts, by your positive words, and by your positive deeds. You are creating an abundance like no other. And so this is where we see the productivity and the gratefulness for, no matter how weird and strange things seem, to remember there are realms such as this that are far darker, and far lighter, maybe. But at the end of the day, that it is a gift still to be here, experiencing as spirits, as light beings in this physical body, that we can move and touch and feel and see the way we do here. And where a lot of us, especially in the spiritual community, I've noticed, have gotten really denigrating of this experience, in that, you know, we've forgotten that this is an honor and a privilege to be here. Goodness knows where else we could have chosen to put ourselves forward, and goodness knows where we'll choose to put ourselves forward next. But at the end of the day, this is a truly beautiful experience still. Even in those painful moments, we find bliss. The homeless person who's going through painful moment after painful moment finds bliss and connection with the person that catches their eye and doesn't ignore that they're there. And that happens for the person that's catching the eye of the homeless person too. To see that without any restrictions or judgments, they can both sit and talk to each other like human to human. So no matter what stardust we come from, no matter how different we might be, that we can come to this physical experience. Don't forget that gift, and don't be too quick for it to end, because you know, it can't be underestimated what we are doing here. With that being said, judgment card, shock horror, you know, comes back up again. And so this is, you know, this trumpet call, this hum, this human resonance rising up. It's, you know, ramping up to finding your path, knowing your path, and going forward towards it, letting go of a lot of what has been the hijacking of this realm, which is the false density that has been put by these so-called powers that be, that have had their time, they've had their turn, but they've liked to add and add and add so many, is it schisms? Can't think, too tired, but you know what I mean. These extra layers of needless worry of judgment of others, needless worry of how to attain, and what attainment looks like, and the very also 3D things that, you know, have gone on for far too long here. This is about being again fully enveloped and continuously developing within this experience. And one of the greatest gifts is for those that are here to help be a part of liberating this realm for ourselves and all that go after us, to be a part of those Akashic records that we are building right now as we speak. And so this is where we, you know, be still in this reality, in that we're not in too much of a rush here. We are to, with this Knight of Pentacles, go forward on a path with a mission to do, but don't be in too much of a hurry to see it fulfilled. Don't be in too much of a hurry to, you know, let loose and give up. This knight is a strategist. This knight doesn't mind taking the time to plot the way forward. So where we've got the lesson to be in flow and be in connection with the all around us with this Page of Wands, we also have this layer of knowledge to know that this is all in divine timing. We can think our way through this also. So it's connecting all of the elements. So we're connecting our inner burning passion and desire to create new abundance, to create this new world, not with order at the end of it. But at the same time, we can reconnect with our mission here, with our soul's mission, with what we decided to come here to do, and be okay with going towards that. Be okay with divine timing falling into place to get us there. And so, but at the same time, this Knight of Pentacles does not, just procrastinate. He's moving. He's moving. He's just steadying himself. Look, he's steadying his steed there. He's thinking his way through, but he is in no stress there to steady his steed. Look, his feet aren't flailing him. He's not struggling to keep a hold of his beast, his inner beast. And so this would be a warning to not fly off at the deep end, to not do what I've just said about doing, and be too quick to have this journey over with, because it's all so bad here. Because there's still true bliss and true love and true connection and all of the beautiful, abundant things that you can find if you just look for a second. And so we've got at the end here, we've got the 5, 6, 7, 8 of swords here. And so this is where we see that there are many, even in the spiritual community today, that might try and lock themselves back up again on this thought merry-go-round, where these continuous cyclical thoughts, going round and round and round, will not stop. And you get in a rut on this card. You can get in a rut very easily. Instead of just going once or twice around the thought merry-go-round, you keep going and keep going. These thoughts get faster. You spiral. And when the merry-go-round starts spiraling, I've described this so many times before, you get flown off it because the speed becomes too much. And so this is where, to not be too lost, have stillness in your heart, to not be too lost in thoughts that will try and lock you down, imprison you, to strap you into some kind of thought merry-go-round that will not stop. Know that you're being supported. On the converse, this is where we also witness, as high frequency beings, we also witness today, for some reason, there are many reasons actually, where those who are in the lower frequency, those who are not conscious of their spiritual side, all that they see is their physical reality. And so you can have compassion and empathy to understand why right now, today, with some of the things that are happening on the collective stage today, why these people will struggle. Because whereas you guys have got something to fall back on, many depths of self to fall back on, this is where we see that people who have only ever had this physical reality and only ever moved within this physical reality and have done everything to avoid the spirituality. This is where you can see that it looks to them like their world is ending. It looks to them like, the end of the world is looming. And so they get locked up in these thoughts. They get locked up in these thoughts of the world ending. This is where we are called upon as high frequency beings to infuse the day with compassion and empathy, to have the wisdom to know that it is not the time to try and convince these people that they're wrong. but just to not feed into it at all. They're not ready, willing, or able to see the positivity. They're not ready and willing and able to see how current events, particularly today, could be the throes of the ending of a far too long so-called powers that be reign, and that's not going to happen quite so easily because they're clinging on for dear life. They can't see that because all they've ever had is this physical reality. And now this physical reality is being threatened, particularly in the Western world, you know, where there is a huge amount of people that have been disconnected from the other aspects of self. And, you know, compared to a lot of places in the world, they have had certain amounts of freedoms or perceived freedoms that have been kept. But this isn't any freedom, is it? Because you see that it might have felt like freedom, but it's stolen away from them. It's stolen their thoughts away from them. It's stolen their spirituality away from them. And so it's so easy to see these people suffer now. It's so easy to cause these people to suffer now with headlines, propaganda, scaremongering, fear porn. And this is where we see there was no freedom in that at all. And so a lot of you, or some of you, might have people in your life who have only ever cared about what car they drive, how other people see them. And this might be close loved ones for some of you, and it's difficult to see them in this space. And everything within you today is going to want to heal that and mend that and give wisdom to that. Today is not the day for that. It will make them spiral further. Because you are alien to them, ironically, with some of the headlines. But you are alien to them in this space. The fact that you're not panicking the way that they are is alien to them. So it's a difficult one for sure. We've got the 7 of Swords to clarify this 8 of Swords, and this is where there's a theft of the mind. There's a hijack, there's a stolen thought process. Look out for red flags today, but red flag real events. Red flag real events where some people really might be getting hurt, but they are not born from the very thing that the propaganda lines are going to sell people. And this is part and parcel of the reason that people are going into this spiral of thought. We've got to clarify that, because I clarified that further in that we've got the Knight of Coins. And so where high frequency people here to do a role are being called to arms, called to their path, we've got the Knight of Coins in the other deck clarifying these 2 cards, which would say that there is movement being made to try and take ground, to try and be strategic. So the very people that are playing ping pong with this red flag event, with these headlines, are the very people that are pinging their ball off as many walls, i.e. other governments, as they possibly can, so that it can never be blamed on them. After all, they're the victims. They've been the victims since World War II. Hint. So we see here that the 5 of Swords, it's to try and create conflict. It's to try and create a war. And again, please try not to buy into the psyop of one person in one government or another government or a few governments not wanting this conflict. Again, even that is a psyop, because even that helps later down the line that I've seen cause a big rift and divide, particularly on the 6th. So we haven't got too long for people to get their heads in gear to know that, it's particularly in the US and in the UK, the way people have been buying into, and I understand it, because what's happening in the US right now, as it does always, but right now affects the world, need to not be kicking off, because it would be playing right into their hands. And they've set up for this divide and this feeling of wanting justice on behalf of one person or the other. And so with that being said, we've got the 10 of swords on the bottom of the deck. So you see, it's brutal. You know, they're trying to set things up. They're trying to bring a timeline in which is going to cost life. It's going to cost casualties. And so let's not let them. Put it all over Twitter today. Put it all over Facebook, all over YouTube, just so they know that they haven't got your consent, that you will not be a part of a PSYOP kickoff on the 6th, no matter where you are in the world. You will not be in consent of war with Iran, Persia. Now listen, the Iranian people have been growing tired for quite some time of Iran and are ready to call in Persia, and quite rightfully so. You know, the way that they are treated by the religious police is terrible, but it's for them. It's for them to liberate them, and it's coming, and it was always going to come. But yes, the ramifications might be more costly there if you step out of line immediately. But everything in perspective, can any one country really say that its people have been free? Yes, a lot of us have had the illusion of being free, but I can tell you, we've been wrapped up in sigils and magic, in low frequency magic. You all know I practice magic, but you know, this is low frequency magic. You know, we've had manufactured consent. And it's not as if those dark arts things don't go on in many, many places around the world. Just some places, you know, aren't as invested in giving it a shinier surface through mainstream media and the like. Some places like Iran aren't as invested as proving to the world that they're not doing the horrid things that they can do to the people under the religious police, under that regime. And I can tell you, as far as the UK goes, they do it. They do it. And it's wrapped up in the systems, it's wrapped up in child services. So please don't fall for the psyop that going to war to liberate. When have we ever done that, really? And so with that being said, I'm going to leave you guys because I feel like I'm going off the screen asleep. I'm going to try and get half an hour before Theodore wakes. I love you all very, very much. Stay balanced, stay whole, and stay discerning. I love you all. Mwah.